Hi, welcome to day 3 of the QuickBooks Challenge. Day 3 today we're going to focus on 1099 miscellaneous management and compliance. With year-end coming, you'll be having to get ready to send out your 1099s in January, and having them to the recipient by January 31st, and then filed with the IRS by February 28th. Today, what I focused on was providing you some summarized information on who gets 1099, utilizing each box of the 1099, as well as providing you some free resources, some more information, as well as the forms that you need to have your recipients fill out. The first way to get started is having your recipient fill out the W9. This allows you to obtain information as far as their tax ID, their name, their business name, and their address. So I've provided a link here to obtain the IRS Form W9. Then here I've also provided a link for you to obtain free forms from the IRS website. And then down below here I've provided a brief summary as far as who gets 1099s and what box you would provide that information in. And if this does not satisfy your thirst as far as finding out information about 1099s, I have actually provided a link to the IRS website that will provide you some more information. On the websites, this is what you will find. This is the IRS website for ordering the forms. You can see here that you can order many different types of forms for free from the IRS, not just a 1099. Just keep in mind that mailing takes a little long with the IRS. So if you were going to utilize the free forms, I would get this request filled out now. Then we have our information on the IRS website that actually provides more comprehensive information as to 1099s and compliance with filing the 1099. And then once again, here's our last link, the W9. This is the request for taxpayer identification number and certification. So the recipient would fill out this information and return this to you, and then you would have this information then to utilize to fill out the 1099. So this does provide you some brief summarized information, but it does provide you with some links to obtain forms, more information, and free forms from the IRS for compliance. Now we're going to cruise on into QuickBooks, where we're actually going to look at 1099 compliance. And I'm going to open up a vendor here, Nye Properties. This is our landlord. And so I was in the vendor center, I double clicked on the vendor, and I'm going to click on tax settings here. I am in the 2013, so if you're in this platform looks a little different, that's why. This is where you put in the ID number for the recipient, and this is where you check that vendor is eligible for the 1099, and then you click OK. Also, what we have available for us that you do need to go through this process is under Edit Preferences, and this will also help you fill out the 1099. So down below, so I went Edit Preferences, and then in the Preference dialog box, we have Tax 1099. And we click on the company preference and we fill out this question. And we put yes if we do file 1099 miscellaneous forms. We have two choices here to click on, and I'm going to click on the second choice because it does provide me with a 6-step checklist of selecting my 1099 vendors, verifying, mapping, reviewing, and confirming, and then printing. So what we have here is where we actually select our 1099 vendors. All these vendors are already selected in our company file. If you do choose on any vendor that is not checked, it will change the company file. So that status in the actual vendor box will be updated. So this is where you go ahead and you select your vendors. We hit continue. This is where you verify your vendor information, making sure it's correct. As far as the addresses, you just hover over this information and the address will pop out, so you can then reconcile it with the W9. I'm going to click continue. This is where we actually map our vendor accounts. These are the chart of accounts, our categories, or what we code our transactions to. And these are the vendors where we actually assign the chart of accounts to, And over here is where we actually go through the process of mapping what box they will be on the 1099. So for instance, here I'm going to use this drop-down menu. Box 1 is rent, box 7 is non-employee compensation. For further information about non-employee compensation, you can read my brief summary or check out the website that I provided for the IRS to obtain more information. So this gives you some of the mapping information, and then you can actually click on this to get more information from Intuit about the 1099 boxes. Then here, you can read this little verbiage here. The IRS requires you to exclude from 1099 any payments you make by credit card, debit card, gift card, or PayPal. So this allows you to review the included payments or exclude the payments. This is new for 2012 because the actual 1099-K is going to be going out by these providers and will be included on the 1099, so we don't want to double dip. So if you do pay your vendors with any of these means, then you will not include those payments on your 1099. Now you can click here if you need more information. Here we actually confirm our 1099 entries. We review this information, making sure that this is correct. This gives our vendor name, our tax ID, the amount in box 7, and the total. And then here, last but not least, choose our filing. Do we want to use the e-file service or do we want to print? And there we go. So thank you for joining me on day 3.